Portland Avenue, a block that has seen its own share of violence, one house is dedicated to putting in work to end it.
If you're around shooting, if you're around homicides, if you're around robberies, if you're around retaliation thoughts and conditions that are right for shootings or homicides to happen, then there's a good likelihood that it can happen.
Eddie Woods with No More Red Dots is no stranger to the factors that lead young people to lives of crime. They are many of the same that Demarion Fleming sees when speaking to kids through his organization, Sowing Seeds with Faith.
It's safe, it's a trend, it's trendy. Kids gravitate towards trend, it's cool. It's a social media hashtag that has a lot of validity when you just start putting yourself in these spaces. The unfortunate thing is these kids don't understand the spaces they're putting themselves in.
Both men, who operate just miles from each other in West Louisville, work through open and honest communication with young people and mentorship.
The streets is undefeated, so if the streets grab them, then it's our job as a community to try to get them back.
It's a job that requires work on the ground and with organizations based in affected areas where it's needed the most. Sowing Seeds with Faith operates out of the 40211 zip code and No More Red Dots within the 40212 zip code. Both are the zip codes with the most shooting victims under the age of 17. And both are part of LMPD's 2nd Division, where data shows more than 30% of the Metro's homicides take place. So far this year, 44 of the Metro's 147 homicide victims have been killed in that division.
You can't be in a gang Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday, you want to be somewhere where that gang is not affiliated. That's where a lot of the deaths happen.
Working through a tiered system, No More Red Dots focuses on finding the root of issues before retaliation starts.
If a person is just known to have a gun, that's one level. If they're known to shoot the gun, that's another level. If they have bodies, that's a whole nother ball game. That's the highest level we got, that this person has been involved in something that took a life.
Woods explains it can be exhausting to the mostly volunteer members who often go unpaid for their efforts.
We got to isolate the individuals who are involved. We got to treat them, and we got to turn them somehow into productive citizens.
They both explain isolation can be difficult with violence plaguing many communities and the young people within them. Metro Police say during a year of unprecedented violence, they are seeing the youngest suspect victim age in history.
You have 15 and 16-year-olds being faced with death sentences. Life in penitentiary at 15 and 16, because they don't understand how that 10 seconds can change and will change their life.
It's why Fleming sees value in holding summer camps and even teen retreats through Sowing Seeds with Faith to provide the space to speak to young people. He talks with children from pre-K to 11th grade. But while both men preach peace, they say their mission can bring a burden very difficult to carry.
You give it all, and then sometimes you lose.
Fleming knows the loss personally. He tells me last year he lost 7 of the children he worked with. 4 to violence, and 3 others landed in prison because of it.
Sometimes we just can't reach folks. We got some folks who have had so much hurt and pain that it's almost written for them to react to that. And that's a hard sell to try to get in there and try to change some of that. We're lucky sometimes, but a lot of times we're not.
Both men say the amount of trauma and hurt within the community is easy to acknowledge, but hard to combat. The hope is light and life prevail through the darkness.
You can't unpull that trigger.
Reporting in West Louisville, Gladys Bautista, WOKY News.